You've seen them. I've certainly seen them. We've all seen those infuriating job posts that make you want to scream in a pillow. You know the ones: entry-level customer service rep, 5 years plus experience required. Or how about the junior marketing associate, must have a decade's worth of proven results? Seriously? It's enough to make you wonder if entry level even means anything anymore. If you're an entry level job seeker, it feels like the deck is stacked against you from the get-go. And if you're a seasoned worker with years of experience under your belt, are you really doomed to slinging coffee or answering phones for peanuts forever? Not quite, but let's unpack why this nonsense keeps happening and what we can do about it. Buckle up, friends, because I'm about to break down for you why entry-level jobs seem to all require a lot of experience. But before we get into that, if you're tired of lowball job offers and employers holding all of the cards, sign up for my free webinar, because in it I share how you can finally reclaim control over your next job search and become the CEO of your career. Because trust me, when you're in demand, you will not experience the job market the way the rest of people do. Okay, so let's get into it. First off, let's talk about those job listings that have you rage quitting LinkedIn. But believe it or not, sometimes it's actually not even the company's fault. It's a glitch in the system. Picture this: a hiring manager and the recruiter open up a new job posting and they throw it on the fancy applicant tracking system software. But they forget to fill out the experience field, or the experience field is completely missing altogether. Then that posting gets blasted out to job boards like LinkedIn and Indeed automatically, which, surprise, surprise, auto-label it as entry level because that's the default setting. So unless somebody's got the time or the patience to manually tweak every listing across dozens of different platforms, unfortunately, you're stuck staring at a job that says entry level but demands 5 years of experience. And as much as we like to believe otherwise, it's not always malice. It's often just sloppy tech or overworked HR teams. Frustrating? Absolutely. But of course, that's not the full story. The job market is kind of like the Hunger Games arena. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The job market itself. You don't need me telling you that it's been a roller coaster lately. Over the past 2.5 to 3 years, layoffs have hit very hard, as you well know if you watch this channel. Think 200 plus jobs slashed across tech giants alone, and that's according to layoff.fyi data from 2022 till now. So that's literally a flood of talent spilling into already crowded pools, all fighting for fewer lifeboats. And the result, competition for every single role is downright brutal. And that's not just fresh grads duking it out. Older workers, people with 10, 20, 30 years of experience, are getting displaced too. After months of employment, desperate times mean desperate measures, and sometimes people are applying to jobs that are way below their pay grade just to survive. And then there's the remote work shakeup. Of course, we all know about these companies that are forcing people to return back to the office, companies like Amazon, Dell, and even Starbucks. They've all rolled out return to office mandates in 2024, and guess what? It's continuing right into 2025. And those folks that moved far away from the office are finding themselves in a bit of an oh crap moment. And that means that people are quitting rather than commuting back to cubicle life. So there's more seasoned pros flooding the candidate pool. And what does this mean for the average job seeker? Well, it means that employers are pretty much sitting with a veritable buffet of options. Listen, folks, it's basic supply and demand. When there's a surplus of talent and a shortage of jobs, employers can and do get picky. Remember 2021 to 2022? That glorious job seeker market where companies were practically begging for workers? Well, a SHRM report from that time showed that degree requirements dropped by nearly 20% in some industries as employers were scrambling to fill roles. Now, they're back to asking for PhDs to answer emails and make coffee. And as you're applying to more and more positions, you're inevitably sending out your personal information to a lot of different employers, and we don't know where that data is ultimately ending up. They're using third-party services to conduct background checks and other pre-employment activities. The problem is that information is often made available for resale to data brokers. And trying to find and remove your personal information can be a nightmare because it keeps on popping up like whack-a-mole. But fortunately, there is a solution that's here to help, and that's where today's sponsor comes in. Delete Me offers a service that scans the World Wide Web, looking for instances where your personal information is showing up on data directories. And they take proactive measures to automatically scrub that information for you. Running behind the scenes, always looking for instances where your information is showing up so you can rest easy knowing that they're always looking out for you. And getting signed up is really easy. You just have to fill out a simple form with some personal information so they know what to look for, and then they immediately get to work scrubbing your information for you. And every so often, they will send you a detailed report letting you know where they've found your personal information and what activities they're doing to remove it. And if you're ready to get started, Delete Me has been gracious enough to offer a 20% off discount if you use the code LAYOFF at checkout. I will leave a link in the video description below. But it's not just the bad job market. Hiring managers are also often living in a bubble. Let's call it like it is. While some hiring managers are great, some hiring managers are a little bit clueless. Many of them haven't hunted for jobs since flip phones were a thing, and they have no idea what's reasonable anymore. I've had hiring managers straight up telling me myself that they thought that 3 to 5 years for an entry-level gig was completely fair because that's what they had starting out 20 years ago. Simply put, a lot of them are completely out of touch with today's reality, both what the candidate brings to the table and what's realistic, and what the market pays. And if you haven't noticed, entry-level salaries haven't really budged all that much, but they still expect you to walk in with a resume that screams veteran. And worse, many of these companies have axed their seasoned recruiters, the ones that you guys like to beat up on. But they're the ones who are actually pushing back on the unrealistic demands, not the inexperienced recruiters. And they've been replaced with rookie contract hires who just nod and post the listing. So as a result, empathy is out the window and you're left applying to jobs that want a unicorn for $15 an hour. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that some employers are straight up predators. There is an ugly truth here. Some companies are exploiting this mess. They know that the market's lopsided. They know that rates of pay have gone through the roof, mainly through their own doing, and they're trying to correct it. Frankly, they're preying on desperate workers, especially those experienced ones who are willing to take a pay cut just to get back into the game, and the entry-level people who are just trying to desperately get a start in their career. It's the classic Mercedes-Benz taste with the Yugo budget move here. Listen, they'll ask for 5+ years of experience, a killer portfolio, fluency in 3 languages, and then offer you $35,000 a year and then call it entry level. It's not a mistake. It's a power move, and it's designed to underpay people. And it's leaving too many talented people undervalued, underqualified, frankly, stuck in jobs that don't match their worth. So we know the problem. What's the fix? Well, here's the deal. Employers should do the right thing. Pay people what they're worth, write realistic job descriptions, and stop treating entry level like a catch-all of their wish lists. But let's be real here. Hoping that they're magically going to grow a conscience is like waiting for your Wi-Fi to fix itself. It may happen. You may have to jiggle some wires, but don't hold your breath. The bottom line here is that nobody's going to save you, and nobody is going to care about your career more than you do. You've got to save yourself. If you're entry level, don't sleep on those internships. And at the same time, you're probably working on some interesting group projects and labs that you can use to build a better resume. Listen, you would be shocked at the amount of experience you already have that you're not giving yourself credit for. That summer intern that you organized the fundraiser, that's project management. Or that blog that you've been tinkering with, that's content creation. Get creative and sell it. And if you're somebody that's seasoned and find yourself tempted to apply downward, don't settle for less than you deserve. If you can, hold the line, because once you accept that lowball offer, all you're doing is you're enabling their bad behavior, and it's a steeper climb back up. Listen, I've learned that one bad job, one low-paying job often rolls right into the second and third in a row. And what was once a very promising career and resume can get derailed by that single bad job. But either way, the power move here is reclaiming control, building your network, sharpening your skills, learning how to write that resume, learning how to market yourself in those interviews, and position yourself so that you're the one calling the shots and not some out-of-touch hiring manager. Listen, at the end of the day, we all know that the job market's a beast, but it doesn't own you. Whether you're just starting out or pivoting mid-career, you've got more leverage than you think. You got to stop letting these ridiculous postings gaslight you into feeling less than. Remember, you're not the problem. They are. So you need to take the reins. Rewrite your story and dictate your terms. Because when you do, no amount of layoffs, return to work mandates, or greedy employers can hold you back. So what's your take? Are the job postings that you're seeing out there completely missing the mark and taking advantage of people, or is it more likely that it's a simple clerical issue? And if this one hits home, I want you to do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe, because I'm here helping you navigate through this madness, and it really does help support the channel. And again, if you're ready to reclaim control in your career, check out that free webinar. I will leave a link in the comments below. You got this.